Yeah, it's been a long time. Feels like anyway. For me to be with you guys. Appreciate you being here this morning and attending practice and watching it. Man, we got a lot to talk about. I think so. First, man, congratulations to Coach Pearl, his staff, and his players. Gosh, what an exciting time and all that they've done for our university and our athletic department is pretty special and we certainly hope that things go well this weekend in Atlanta and look forward to being there Friday night. I wish they would have asked me about the tip time. That would have been a little easier on my Saturday morning practice, but I don't think they asked us about that. But we'll be there and cheering them on and excited for them. And Bruce has just done a wonderful job of managing expectations and the toughness of the league, and so proud for them and can't wait to see them compete this weekend. Excited for Butch. Got his 300th win, and I've gotten to know him in this off season much better, and regret that I hadn't done that sooner because I don't know of a better human being than Butch Thompson, and congratulations on their start too. And then Larry Vickers, the new women's basketball coach. I know everyone's excited about him and what he brings to our program here. Look forward to getting to know him. Thought Pro Day yesterday was incredible. Thought it was one of the better ones that I've been a part of. Thought our staff did a great job of organizing that for the NFL teams, and our kids seemed relaxed and confident and thought they competed extremely well, tested well. And really, I mean, it was one of the better throwing sessions I've seen at Pro Day. I thought Peyton was excellent, as were the receivers. Very few balls were even on the ground. And I thought he threw it as well as I've seen him do. And so it's exciting to see our kids do that to get opportunities at the next level. I don't think I've been able to speak publicly about Brother Chet other than at his memorial, and just want to take just a minute to say the impact he's had on so many lives throughout the years here at Auburn is pretty much legendary, and the impact will be felt forever. And just obviously he will be missed. He's very difficult to replace because of just the impact that he's had. But we've been very fortunate to replace him with a former player here that was trained under Brother Chet, really, and Mike Blanc. So we're excited to have him on board and look forward to helping him continue and everything that Brother Chet was doing. So a lot of great things going on. Spring ball was we did 3 preliminary days of non-pads last week. And truthfully, I was watching Bruce's game with a group of friends and boosters at Moore's Mill, and they were all asking, all right, how was the first week? And truthfully, it was, I want to be careful, but it was really probably 3 of the better first practices that I've experienced in spring ball, and I think that has to do with the work that we put in February. We dedicated a lot more time to making sure our kids were good on install and individual stuff, and really thought it paid dividends in our first 3 outings. And today I thought they competed hard. We got a lot to learn and clean up, but it was first day of pads, and thought the energy was good and we competed well.
Hey, you question about. Sorry about that, man. So a question about Jackson Arnold. What have you seen from him, personality-wise, and his approach and his attitude so far?
Very optimistic. He's got a calm demeanor, a confidence. He understands the ball, high football IQ, arm strength is good. It's the reason he was Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of high school, and I think needed a start to regain some confidence, and I think he's doing that in a fast pace. decision making has been on point. We'll watch today's film. I don't know about it, but in the previous 3 days, again, you didn't have pads on and stuff, but there's been very, very few decisions that were the wrong ones, and I think he's throwing a very accurate ball. Really impressed with his pocket presence when the traffic is around him where his eyes are. They stay downfield. He uses his legs when he needs to. Really excited and impressed, truthfully, both with him and Deuce. Deuce's maturity is way farther along than what I even knew. And he is hungry to learn and always asking questions and always wanting to talk about how do I improve this and that, and is a extremely hard worker that you have to run off the field from trying to throw too much. They're getting a lot of throws because there's only 2 of them right now, and you got to monitor that. But I'm really pleased with both of those guys right now.
Coach, with the wide receivers, getting a lot of those guys back and then adding Singleton, what are you looking from them out of spring ball this week?
They better make plays. If that room doesn't have success, we won't have success. But it is one of the more talented rooms I've ever been associated with. And, you know, somebody asked me the other day how I would rank that room versus DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Van Jefferson, Evan Ingram. I think it's a bit early for me to put all of that on them, but it rivals it. It's close, I think. You know, even like Malcolm and Perry, who just a second year in the same system with the same terminology, doing the same things, you see them now catching on. There were still times last year, you know, that, you know, Peyton's ready for Malcolm or Perry to do this, and it may not get exactly done, and now you start seeing them executing at a better level. So we are very much dependent upon that room having success.
You talked about hiring Mike Blanc. First, just the importance of that role for your program and things you do, and then what was it about Mike that you saw to be the guy that takes over for Chet?
Yeah, obviously I'm a person of faith. That does not mean I'm perfect. That's why I am a person of faith, because I know I'm not perfect, and I think that faith to me is someone at some point in life you have to choose to believe in something bigger than yourself, and everybody's got to decide what that is for them. Even in football, you can't do it alone, and so that role for me, with everything that kids have going on in life, I just think there's somebody that they need to be able to go to if they don't feel comfortable talking to one of the coaches or something about that they have access to that. And Mike's humility and love for Auburn, and knowing that he's similar to Chet because of their time together. There was a lot of people that wanted this job, but it was, man, my first interaction with him. And obviously I trust Gus and other guys that know him well, and I was pretty sure that's the route we wanted to go if that's what he felt like was best for he and his family.
You just wanted to ask how you're doing. You know what your last month has been like since your diagnosis, and how you're feeling.
Man, thank you for asking. And I've tried to decide how I would approach the public view of this, or the public knowledge of this, and I'm really transparent. Probably, maybe, I don't know if you should be, but I'm thankful for all the doctors and the insight that they have, and I struggle believing that I actually have cancer because I feel great, and I'm in probably better shape than I've been in 10 years, and so it's a battle for me mentally to I don't want to be cut on. I don't want to. I don't want to alter my body. But yet you have this mental knowledge of, they say you have some cancer cells in your body, so that is the struggle that you have is. And then you have in all honesty, the struggle of, all right, if I choose to go with this procedure, then, I'm still a young man. It changes this and it changes that, and you're like, oh my God, I might have to wear a diaper for a while. I mean, that doesn't really excite me, and so it's a challenge. I had my 30 minutes to an hour of self-pity and anger probably, and then truthfully I really flipped a switch and said, man, I get a chance to practice what I've preached for 33 years of how to walk through another challenge or a gut punch that you get or news that you get that you don't like, and I get to model that for our kids and staff, and so I right now I'm the challenge for Jill and I is really just, what is the right next step? And I've talked to people at every clinic in America have been very kind to reach out and give me their opinion. And in all honesty, I'll wind it up. I'm waiting on one more test to come back that really tells you the aggressiveness of these cells that are, and then that will kind of help me make the decision on, do we approach this with just prayer and diet and monitor it, or do we think we need to be more aggressive in some of the procedures that are out there? I'll be glad to update you when I know that. They said that test will take 3 to 4 weeks, and it's probably been off probably 2 weeks. So it should be here in something shortly.
Hugh, I wanted to ask you a little more specifically about Singleton and just his speed and his acceleration really seemed to kind of jump out there. What have you kind of seen from that, and especially his athleticism?
He makes defensive backs very uncomfortable. He's got he's got some straight line speed along with some lateral quickness that's unique and pretty elite, and can use him in a lot of different ways, and I think he's added another dimension to our offense and is going to have a special year.
You just wondering, where are you guys at health-wise right now, and is there anybody that y'all are not expecting to have with you guys this spring?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing of spring. Is why I keep lobbying, and I will continue to lobby probably until I retire, to do away with spring ball and give us OTAs in June, where we can put pads on there for like 10 days, where you have everybody. I mean, right now we're without Connor Lew, DeMarcus Riddick, X at left tackle, Keldrick, Darrell. It's just it's some guys we're depending on that we're going to be without for pretty much all of spring, and I wish that wasn't the case, but every year you're going to have these surgeries in January or February from the season, and then you're without those guys. So I wish we could just train and do our individual work that we did like in February, and then us have some OTAs in June, during that first part of June, where you have everybody, even after the portal and all that, you really have your whole team, or high school kids that didn't mid-year enroll, they would get the opportunity to do that too. So yeah, we're without, and I'm sure Hollis Davidson we're without right now, and I'm sure there's others I can't, but some pretty key guys that Bryce Kane right now. So we're without some guys, and that is what it is. But we'll do the best we can, getting them ready when they get back.
Coach Freeze, is it fair to say that your football program needs a better sense of urgency for this season, your third year?
I mean, we need to play better, and we need to win some games for sure. I think our sense of urgency is you prepare and you give them confidence, and I don't think you do that out of a sense of fear or the what if world or any of that. Man, I love our kids right now. I love our approach. I love our staff. I think there's confidence in the building, and it's growing. And I think we hopefully respond out of that confidence and nothing else, nothing from the outside world, just everything from the inside world of, man, here's who we are and here's the opportunities we have. Let's prepare for them and be confident because we have a talented squad in there. Do we need a little more help at a few positions? Yes. We'll see if we can address that in the coming months. But I'm really encouraged and optimistic by the confidence I see growing, and obviously the deeper depth chart that we have.
When you're talking about guys that are out, that sort of brings to mind. Alex, how's he doing? And
Yeah.
depth, you got a lot of kickers.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot of good kickers. Alice looks good. He kicked today. I don't know if y'all were out there for that period and made every single kick, I believe, and looks really good. I think he is, not to get too much in his business, but I think he's the procedures that were done on him seem to have been successful, and I think he's got one more that needs to be done, but I believe he's going to try to choose to wait through the season before he does that, and he looks good and definitely has gained more weight and looks healthier and kicked the ball extremely well today. So excited. So is Towns, and so is Ian and Gibbs, and they all have kicked pretty well in the few opportunities we've seen. We haven't done that a lot yet, but I thought they all looked good today.
Hugh, just talk a little about when you start to look at this team and seeing some of the things go on. What are you looking for now out of the spring with you have systems in place already? What's the next step for you guys?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt us coming into the second year not changing anything offensively or defensively, and staff remained intact on offense. Obviously, we lost some people that got promotions, which were great. I'm happy for them. Defensively, we lost some guys that got opportunities to be a head coach and a coordinator, but confident in that side too, that they replaced them. But the verbiage is all the same, and the kids are more confident in it. You see that and you feel it, and so now it's a matter of us executing those things at a high level. Not about doing more or just, man, we're talented enough at certain spots that, man, I think less is more, and let's execute those things very, very well. And that's what the plan is for spring is, man, let's not try to do too much and see what our kids can really do. And I think we're very talented at receiver. We've improved ourselves in the O-line. Tight ends, I think we're going to be fine. B. Frazier had a really good day today, and need Preston Howard and those other guys to come on. But, running back, I think we're going to be solid. I wish Darrell was practicing, but looks like Cobb and Damari had a good day, and we know that Alvin is very talented, and he's learning, and coming on. But quarterback play is going to be significant and vital. We know that. And, again, I said I'm confident in that to this point. And now I just want to see us, man, make the right decision, execute it at a high level, and see if our guys can make plays. And defensively, they're going to do a lot. That's DJ's deal. And we need those young guys to play up front and a few on the back end. And I think February paid good dividends for those mid-year enrollees. Some of them are very, very talented, but still, make a mistake. If you're supposed to have the B gap here, you're supposed to play the quarterback here. And so I think getting them to play, there is a place where sense of urgency has to be on defense, man, where we play with relentless effort. And DJ is great about demanding that and owning that every day with them in film. And I think he'll get that done. We'll have to pick up a few guys on that side of the ball, hopefully, in this next recruiting cycle at certain spots. But I think it's just the execution, man, and the effort's there. Got to keep demanding that it's there. We all agreed upon a standard in January. They've been great, the leadership team, of holding us to that standard, and there's accountability to that. And we've got to continue that for the remaining. We're only going to do 9 padded practices. I've gotten away from this 15-day meat grinder thing, and we're trying to teach and make sure our kids are healthy as can be, and yet we get good work in. So we're going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays for the next 3 weeks, and the other days are really just teach and film. And so hopefully our execution and effort will just stay at a high level.
Coach, you've spoken about the expectations for year 3 and how this is the year that it can all come together and you can compete with elite teams.
Yep.
What gives you confidence in that, and what indicators are you seeing from your staff and players that you guys are headed in the right direction?
Yeah, I think the cohesiveness of our staff, the culture that's in the building, and the depth chart has changed over 2 recruiting cycles. And I mean, I wish there was some secret thing that I could just flip and tell you that, but I really think the culture is just growing each year to being better. The cohesiveness of the staff, being able to hold them together. Thankful for our administration and their help when we need help to do that. John and Lee and those guys have been incredible in supporting us in that, and then our recruiting efforts. Everybody in this building and our Own to Victory team and everybody's pitched in to make a commitment to making sure that we continue to recruit at a level that matches rosters of the teams that are elite. And I said it would take 3 recruiting classes. We've had 2, and I feel much better about what you see on the field.
Yeah, Hugh, you guys just announced some changes to A-Day, basically making it a practice. Talk to me about, are those days over when you have a big spring game, and more about the OTA thing? I think there's a lot of coaches kind of getting behind that. Do you think that'll actually happen?
I don't know. I've tried for years. I've also tried to get a spring game to be with another team in your state and have a day where we give it all to foster care of the state. And everybody gives $10 to come to the game, and you play a game, and let's adopt a charity in your state. And that didn't get any traction either. I think we're the only sport that doesn't have some competition with another school at any point during the year. The NFL does it 3 or 4 times. Everybody else in baseball, basketball gets to go scrimmage somebody else. But for some reason, that's been off limits for us. And it hasn't gotten any traction. I do think with all the changes in the recruiting calendar that there might be some momentum for people to listen to what I'm saying about, hey, let's let our kids just train all spring and give us 10 days like the NFL at the first part of June, and let's do some OTAs then, and let's just train all spring. I think we'd be healthier. I do think that has a fighting chance because there's going to be some changes coming in the calendar. There has to be. So it might have a fighting chance. But I do think the days of a spring game where you're televising that and the portal opens the next week, that doesn't make much sense. I think those days are kind of over of doing that. And we went down the list of all the injured guys. For us trying to divide up and have some kind of spring game just doesn't make as much sense as us doing what we did today. And we'll have some live periods, but it'll be more of a practice format.
Yeah, we were talking to Marcus yesterday, and he was saying maybe it's a little bit easier now for guys like Malcolm and Cam because you kind of shed that layer of inexperience. Mm-hmm. Are you able to coach not just the receivers, but the freshmen all across the roster that are now sophomores. Does that help now, that level of experience, be able to coach them a little harder maybe?
Malcolm looks like a different guy. Cam, obviously, too, is more confident and understands, I think, kind of what we're saying when we, hey, let's make this adjustment to this route. Just with, I would love not to carry very much, but I've always, when you had experienced guys, you can say, hey, all right, we're still going to run Cali here, but I want to run this one different route with it at one of the spots. And that was, I think they're feeling much more comfortable with doing that now. And I think all of those Perry's, he's got to play faster at times, but he's starting to get it. And obviously Eric's played a lot of ball, and he's adjusting pretty well to our system. But there's no doubt I feel more confident. I think I can coach them harder and demand more of them, and they demand more of themselves.
Coach, kind of speaking on the wide receivers, we saw Sam Turner make some plays today. What would his role look like, especially with a loaded wide receiver group?
Yeah, that's hard to tell. But, man, you saw what I saw today. I mean, the ball came his way, and he made plays. Horatio's the same way. Made a heck of a play on a vertical ball. And, so I think we've got some great depth there. Even though Sam's a true freshman, I think we nailed that recruitment of our evaluation of him and of Horatio. Excited about the depth that we have there. Coach, thank you very much. Yep, thank you.